So good evening friends. So today again I am going to discuss about the service, because yesterday we'll discuss about that the how to configure the MAC service, and today I'm going to discuss about the how to configure the MAC service. I am going to step by step, so all the people's expert on that Clearpass, so all people are joining in this session and meetings. So maybe two person does not join that meeting. So Manoj and Rajesh is not there, so please Rajesh and Manoj join this meeting. So we'll start the configuration. So okay, fine. So I just discuss about the how to configure the macOS service, how to configure the macOS, and why to use of the macOS service. Discuss about the in this lecture. So why use the macOS service? I still discuss about the why use of the .NET web service. So today only discuss about the what is use of the macOS service. So 1 second, just I'm logging my lab. Session may be expired. So I log in my lab. Okay, fine. So just I understand about the why, what is the macOS service now, what is the benefit of the macOS service. So a second, just I'm starting. I think all people are joined. So now start. So what is the use of the macOS service? Because why use the macOS service in the your Clearpass service? The macOS authentication, the macOS authentication method is a grant access to the secure network by authenticating a device for access to the networks. That means the macOS authentication method grant access to a secure network by authenticating device for the network, for the access to the network. That means somebody in your network, somebody guest or somebody, any person coming to the network and join directly is not possible. So that is a way. So that is a macOS service. Because of this only macOS service, you should be known MAC address allow in your networks. If you not allowing it, not by at least state MAC address in your net Clearpass, so that means nobody can join your networks. You should be that MAC address allow in your Clearpass. If it allow, that means that system able to access with the help of MAC address. Okay, that MAC address itself, username password is the MAC address. Okay, so then the MAC address is the main motto of the MAC address. This is a username and password itself is a MAC address, because that MAC address, this MAC address is only for the authentication with the help of radius, but in the MAC don't use the AD username password. They use the username password itself a MAC address, but that MAC address whitelisted in your NAC consoles. That is mandatory requirement. So the MAC authentication method grant access to a secure network by authenticating device for device for access to the network. When a device connect to the switch, either by direct link or through the network, the switch forward the device MAC address to the radius server for authentication. Radius, that means the authentication methods. The radius server use the device MAC address as the username and password. That request come to my NAC console, but that one condition, that MAC address should be allowed in a NAC console. That request is if the MAC address is not whitelisted in NAC console, that means that user not able to access your networks. Okay, that is a mandatory requirement. So radius server uses the radius device. The radius server uses the device MAC address as the username and password, and grant or denies network access in the same way that it does for clients capable or interactive logins. The process does not use either a client device configuration or login session. The MAC address authentication is well suited for a client not capable of providing the inactive logon, such as telephone, printers, or wireless access point. Also, because of radius servers allows authentication to depend upon the source switch port through which the client connect to the network. You can use the authentication lock or particular device specific switch port. That means the MAC auth service, the use of the IP phone, printers, ATM machine, because that printers and telephone, they don't know about the radius packets, so that is using the, they are not because of the printer is not itself a MAC address, it's itself not if you are using the username password, not using the AD credential. So what is the use of the purpose of MAC authentication service? That use of the service only non AD credential using devices like printer, telephone, cameras. This is a most and more. This is a this service for the this like devices like a printer, camera, IP phones. They are not understanding the that not using the KD credential or the other passwords. That using the itself is username password is username password is your MAC address that authenticate with the servers. That means that the devices are also secure. That is use of the your MAC auth service. Again, I just overview of the MAC auth. I think Manoj, you are understanding my MAC auth service. If nobody can understand, please raise your hand. I'll just again repeat you this. Okay. Please make sure that all the people should be expert on the Clearpass. I am giving the knowledge about the Clearpass. You should be all the guys should be an expert on that Clearpass. That's my motto. Okay. So again, going to MAC auth service. What is the use of MAC auth? MAC auth service use of the third party like non-using AD credential devices. MAC auth service used for non-using credential devices like printers, IP phone, cameras, etc. That MAC auth service used for these devices, because these devices not using the AD credential username and password, so that itself is a MAC address username and password using, and that authenticate with your source. So that means that that device is also it been secure. Okay. Again, I'm just the MAC authentication method grant access to the secure network by authenticating devices for access to the networks. Okay. All the network in your devices are all devices, it should be secure. That use for the motto of that MAC auth service. When device connect to the switch either by direct link through the network, the switch forward the device MAC address to the Redis servers for authentication. That request come to the NAC console. NAC console, it should be in the Redis authentication apply, and that apply authentication is the help of service. Username password itself is the username password itself is a MAC address. So I am just introduction about the MAC auth service. I am just configure the MAC auth service and how to configure, how to identify. Just I am press it and just so I am going to again service. Please have a look. I am just yesterday I discussed about the web auth service. This service I am applying that to your particular system. It's working fine. So these are the conditions to use of the same. Any issue, please raise your hand or drop a mail. Guys, please understand the services, because this service is very important of your Clearpass. Because if you not understand the service, that means not proper way to configure the Clearpass. If anything wrong, that means device is not authenticated. Please make sure that you should be all the services should know why using the MAC auth service, what is use of the web auth service. You should be all understand the devices and the services should be applied. So I'm just configuring the MAC auth service. I am just configuring the new list fresh MAC auth service. Click on MAC auth. Select type is a MAC auth service. Make sure that MAC auth service should be type is a MAC authentication. Enter the name. This MAC auth for printer and cameras. Okay, and then enter the any names. etc. Let's see etc. That's it. So enter, select the types MAC authentication. Enter the name. Select authorizations. Authorization should be in the endpoint repository and time source. Okay, because MAC auth service not using the AD credential, that we use the endpoint repository. That means only MAC should be whitelisted in your console. That's it. That is the main motto. Role, if your role is configuration, it should be apply the roles. If you not there, then read that parts. This role for the new device, kiosks, printers, is for these devices. New device, news PC, kiosks, printers, IoT devices, ATM, guest. Okay, these are service, web of service. These are MAC auth in the guest role. This role is mandatory for that particular service. Enforcement, I am just applying this enforcement. If you configure the enforcement, you can should apply as per your designing, as per your network requirements. So talking about the condition, this is the default condition. ITF NAS type ports belongs to Ethernet or wireless. This MAC auth service wired and wireless both. This MAC auth service used for both wired and wireless. Okay. Radius ITF device service type belongs to login user call checked in is a condition. Connection client MAC address equals to radius ITF user name. These are the default condition. So again one more thing, I am adding the one more condition for any or subnet or any devices. We can your IP range, you can enter your over here. So I am just selecting the one more condition. Any client IP address, client MAC address, NAD IP address. So NAD IP address, this is a switch IP address, range of the IP address switch. Just I am entering the client MAC address. Belongs to this group. You can select the static host is test PC. Save it. Authentication required. All is MAC auth. Okay. Endpoint repeat time source fine. So MAC auth service is configured. So when you configure any service, that service is going to down. So you need to reorder the service as per your designing, as per your flow, network flow. Because of the Clearpass is working the top to bottom. The service going to top to policy work is a top to bottom. So I'm just reorder the service. Reorder the service and click on the reorder and click on the particular service. Go to down. Okay, this is a MAC auth service. These are the particular, you can mention your subnet over here. You can mention, I'm just mentioning my PC plus PC that I'm testing. Okay, this is a MAC auth service. You can change it as per your requirement. You can change the NAD IP address, as per you change your client IP address. What you need to change, you can change it and add it over here. That's it. So this our service, now our service MAC auth service has been configured. Okay, just I'm going to my PC. I'm checking over there. 1 second. I don't have the switch. Switch is going to under progress. So I'm just checking my PC is working or not. 1 second. Is a lab setup. I think my 10 PC is not connected over here. I'm just checking. I think server is not up. 1 second. I'm just opening the servers. Oh, 1 second. Okay, I'm just AD is going up. PC, wait, PC also going up. Wait a second. Sir, PCR just log in. Wait for a minute. आप सबको समझ में आ रहा है मैं जो पढ़ा रहा हूँ? आई थिंक सभी लोग को समझ में नहीं आ रहा, तो आप रेज योर हैंड, बस क्वेरी तो कुछ मैसेज ड्रॉप करो. ओके, सो कल हम लोग वेब ऑफ सर्विस देखा, आज हमने मैक ऑफ सर्विस देखा. मैक ऑफ सर्विस हम लोग किस लिए यूज़ करते हैं? मैक ऑफ सर्विस हम यूज़ करते था नॉन क्रेडेंशियल यूज डिवाइस, जैसे प्रिंटर हो गया, IP फ़ोन हो गया, जैसे कैमरा जो, उसके लिए हम लोग ये मैक ऑफ सर्विस यूज़ करते हैं. अनटिल एंड अनलेस अनटिल एंड अनलेस हम लोग मैक ऑथ सर्विस यूज़ करते हैं। अगर आपका डोमेन पूरा बैठ गया तो उस टाइम लोग मैक ऑथ सर्विस यूज़ कर सकते हैं एज ऑथेंटिकेशन। अगर कोई आपके नेटवर्क में एडी ही बैठ गया तो उस टाइम में आपका पीसी अगर यूज़ नहीं हो रहा उस टाइम में हम लोग मैक ऑथ सर्विस यूज़ कर सकते हैं। उसका आपको पोर्ट में आपको आपका आईपी बाइंड करना पड़ेगा उस सर्विस में। तो मेरा पीसी जस्ट बट हुआ है। मैं लेक्चर को दोनों तरीके से ले रहा हूँ, जैसे हिंदी और इंग्लिश के अंदर, क्योंकि सभी लोग को समझ में इस चीज़ में किस तरह से हम लोग काम कर रहे हैं, मैक ऑथ सर्विस क्यों काम होती है, मैक ऑथ सर्विस की जरूरत किस लिए, ये भी देखेंगे। इसकी बात का जरूर सर्विस होगा वो हमारा हो .NET सर्विस, लेकिन हम मैक ऑथ सर्विस को समझना जरूरी है। तो हम लोग पहले मैक ऑथ सर्विस, उसके बाद हम इन्फोर्समेंट की बात करेंगे, इन्फोर्समेंट प्रोफाइल इस सब पर बात करेंगे। एक एक चीज़ पे हम लोग कवर करेंगे, हर टॉपिक को, हर चीज़ को हम लोग डीपली जाएंगे और कवर करेंगे। जब तक किसी को समझ में अगर पेंडिंग रहा तो उसको रिपीट करेंगे, अगर किसी को समझ में आया तो हम उसको रिपीट करेंगे। तो ये हेल्दी पीसी अभी इसमें मैं मैक ऑथ सर्विस तो दिखाएगा नहीं, इसे वेब ऑथ का सर्विस दिखेगा। हम जस्ट चेकिंग, क्योंकि अभी मैक ऑथ सर्विस मेरे पास, इसके लिए मुझे मैक ऑथ सर्विस टेस्ट करने के लिए मुझे स्विच लगेगा और क्रेडेंशियल लगेगा, स्विच लगेगा, उसका ऑथेंटिकेशन। अभी सिर्फ मेरे पास वेब ऑथ का रिक्वेस्ट आ रहा है। ओके, अगर मैं चेक करूँ कि मेरे पास वेब ऑथ का रिक्वेस्ट के साथ साथ रेडियस का रिक्वेस्ट आ रहा है कि वो, बट वो नहीं आएगा क्योंकि मेरे पास स्विच कॉन्फ़िगर नहीं है। स्विच पे हमारा NAC का कॉन्फ़िगर होना बहुत जरूरी है। हम लोग फिर भी चेक करते हैं। It should be MAC address। सो रिक्वेस्ट नहीं आ रहा है, इसका मतलब मेरे पास स्विच मेरा कॉन्फ़िगरेशन नहीं, सिर्फ रेडियस का रिक्वेस्ट आ रहा है। तो कोई बात नहीं, हम नेक्स्ट लेक्चर में इसमें कवर करेंगे। रेडियस के पास स्विच कॉन्फ़िगर होना चाहिए तो रेडियस का रिक्वेस्ट के अंदर आएगा, ठीक है। तो इसमें ये मैंने किया, उसके मैक ऑथ सर्विस हो गया। तो हमको सिर्फ हमने मैक ऑथ कैसे कवर करता है, मैक ऑथ में किस तरह ग्रुप होता है, ये कंडीशन इज जस्ट, आपको सबको सेम कंडीशन लगे, 3 कंडीशन सेम रहेगा, सिर्फ चौथा कंडीशन वो चेंज होगा। दिस कंडीशन, चौथे कंडीशन में आप कंडीशन मैचेस कंडीशन एनी और ऑल मैच कंडीशन कर सकते हैं। जैसा देखा जाए बेस्ट प्रैक्टिस एनी होना चाहिए, ऑल मैंडेटरी में आपको सारा कंडीशन चेक करेगा, हम एनी कर सकते हैं। तो ये थर्ड कंडीशन आपका चेंज होगा। थर्ड कंडीशन में आप कनेक्शन क्लाइंट मैक एड्रेस, आप मैक एड्रेस यूज करते हैं, आईपी एड्रेस यूज कर सकते हैं, या आप NAT IP यूज करते हैं, डिपेंड आपका जो नेटवर्क रखा, आपको पूरा नेटवर्क डिफाइन करना तो पूरा नेटवर्क डिफाइन कर सकते हैं। इसके अंदर बिलोंग्स टू दिस ग्रुप, उसमें आपका स्विच आएगा, स्विच ग्रुप जो डिवाइस ग्रुप जो पूरा आपको डिफाइन करना पड़ेगा। जो आपका स्विच रहेगा वो पूरे स्विच को यहाँ बंडल में आप ग्रुप को आप डाल सकते हैं, वो स्विच के अंदर सारे स्विच आप ऐड कर सकते हैं। तो इसमें आप इसमें भी ऐसे कॉल कर सकते हैं। तो अब कंडीशन चेंज होगा, बाकी कंडीशन सेम रहेगा आपका, बाकी कंडीशन आपका सेम रहेगा। तो अब जो फ्लो आएगा, जो वेब ऑथ पॉलिसी, उसके बाद मैक ऑथ पॉलिसी, उसके बाद .NET पॉलिसी। जो पॉलिसी वर्क करेगा आपका, पहले मैक ऑथ रहेगा, पहले वेब ऑथ रहेगा, उसके बाद मैक ऑथ रहेगा, उसके बाद .NET रहेगा। लेकिन मैक ऑथ जो पॉलिसी आएगा वो आपका .NET के नीचे रहेगा। कभी भी आपका जो मैक ऑथ पॉलिसी रहेगा .NET के नीचे रहेगा। वेब ऑथ फर्स्ट रहेगा, उसके बाद .NET, उसके बाद रहेगा मैक ऑथ पॉलिसी। So I show you the screenshot how to the configuration of that switch. These are the screenshot. So these are the our MAC auth service. This is the MAC auth. All the PC are authenticated with the .NET and the MAC auth only for the printers and the cameras. Okay. So this is a switch log. I am just showing you this is a switch log. This is how to authenticate with the system and how to with the configure the .NET and the MAC auth. So MAC auth like that working. This is the service, and this service is in that switch is going to the use that .NET radius service. Okay. So this is our log. I have the switch, but I don't have the configuration done. So still pending. So I'm going to complete the setup. So I'm going to show you the live authentication. But this lecture only for the you know about the how to configure the MAC auth service. You know, that's why I'm teaching about the why using the MAC auth service, what is the use of that. That is the main motto of that service. Okay. Again, that is one more thing. This is click on the profiling. When going to profiling, when should be, that means any OS family, that Cisco, this radius COA, if you apply or not apply, not mandatory, because the if you going to that macOS are using for the systems endpoints, so should that switch should be the COA means change of authorization. Okay, COA change of authorizations. That switch should be in Cisco switch, so you can bounce the port Cisco switch. if the Aruba switch, you can should be allowed this bounce back. This is bounce back policy should be configured on that if you apply the MAC auth printer policy. Okay, this any category OS family, and the Cisco switch, if the Cisco switch, use the Cisco. If you see Aruba switch, you can use the Aruba. If you are the third party switches, HP switches, you can use the HP. Depend upon your switch model, you can use the bounce back, host bounce the port. So now I have the Cisco switch, so I am using Cisco. Save it. Enforcement, this is the enforcement. Enforcement is pending because enforcement lecture is different, so I am not cover that point. I am just explaining about how to configure the MAC auth service, what is use of that, and what is the how to configure everything on that your roles. This role is mandatory for MAC auth service. This role is mandatory for MAC auth service. You need to be specify the roles. You need to specify the roles. You need to specify the roles in the employee. Then you need to specify the what is the type of devices you network connecting, like the new TPC is connecting. You need to connect the kiosks. You need to like the printers. You need to IoT device. You need to ATM. You need to guest expire. See, like that, this service is mandatory. So you should be configure the guest service. If you configure the MAC auth service, you need to configure the roles. Okay. So all guys, maybe you are understanding the today topics. So please make sure that read and lecture. Can you, when you going to any configuration, please make sure that your condition, make sure that your policy, what is the policy, why using that policy, please know and understand the everything, because of the packet flow is very important in the NAC console. They don't do packet flow, you don't know the troubleshooting part. You are troubling the part when going to any authentication, any issue is not understanding while doing the MAC auth service. That means you trouble the troubleshooting. So please make sure that each and every part cover. My video, recorded video, I am shared to you. Please watch multiple times. Not understanding, please share me any queries, raise your hand, any drop or mail, so I'll suggest you and support you. Thank you for watching my video. Please like and subscribe to my channel. So please, thank you.